Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Train Sim World 2 Clinchfield Friday. We're going to allow this to catch up here. I'm looking at my computer. Okay. So, good morning again, in case it was kind of catching up. Welcome to Clinchfield Friday. We're going to be taking the F7 on the CRR92 southbound manifest. So, we're going to get in here, get everything loaded up, get the cab set up, and then we will be on our way. So hopefully everybody is having a good Friday. Excellent Friday, whatever the case may be. We seem to have a little break in the rain right now. I was able to run down the street to the store to get some more coffee and creamer because, yeah, we don't like to run out of either. Good morning, Amela, once again. Welcome. Of course, we're going to spend our time waiting for the load screens to cycle through. Hey, good morning, Pete. How are you? Or good afternoon in your case, over there in the UK. So we'll get in here, get set up, and we'll be on our way once the game lets us in. So we'll see how we fare on the southbound service. So I'm guessing we're going to be going downhill most of the way, I think. Northbound, I think, is uphill. Southbound is downhill. I think that's how it works. But we'll find out. Probably have a mixture of both, quite honestly. We'll find out here shortly. So yeah, the Hamburg to Lubeck was premiered or previewed, not premiered, previewed yesterday. Looked pretty good. Really excited for that. Looks like it's going to be another nice German route, and got passenger service, of course, and of course our my favorite part, the freight part of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. I will have to spend some time kind of reacquainting myself with the Loco. I think it's the 143 that is similar to the 112 that we're going to get. So, yeah, we're going to get get kind of reacquainted with that, and the 185 or 182, the MRCE, I think it was called, if I remember correctly. All right, how many units we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get that on. We can turn the cab heater off. Let's get the gauge lights on. Let's make sure that is set to cut in. Put that to forward. Sounds like the engine's already running, so I don't think we have to worry about that. Yep. So we just got to put all of our fuel, generator, and engine, our number lights, class lights, headlights. Let's see, where is the... There's a switch. Put the cab light on over there. We don't need it over us, just to have some light. And let's get the brakes released. Ooh, wow, we are on a slight uphill here. We need to put this into series parallel, I believe. I guess we'll find out shortly. Go ahead and put the window down. Even though nobody of a certain... Nobody will come in and ask for it, I'd just do it anyway, but if somebody came in and asked for it, I wouldn't do it. Just saying. Alright, let's see if we can get underway here. It wants to, I think. It's trying. Oh, we got movement. Houston, we have liftoff. All right, 24 miles is our destination, of course. That is as the train flies. Not as the route goes. So we're here, we are going all the way down there. This is a mixed freight service. So we got our F7A and B units. The B unit is the additional power unit here behind the A unit, which is the front cab there. So hopefully this will be a nice journey. No major hiccups or issues or anything of the sort. We're going to try to avoid going into emergency brake and all that silliness. Oh, you know what? I know. I forgot to put that to free. That switch, the rotator valve. Ooh, I got a red light already. Oh, we don't want to lose our momentum if we can help it. So hopefully we will. Let's kind of zoom in there and see what's happening as to what is going to. Oh, I see why. Okay. There's another train coming off that. Okay, so probably by the time we creep up there, because we're only going 10 miles an hour, we're not making any huge gains up that 1.5% grade there. So I think we're going to be okay. That red should come off here momentarily, because that last bit of that consist is going to be passing that red here. And that switch, so I was mixed up in the other train there for a second. Ah, look at this lovely scenery we have here. Now, I probably should have tried, and I'm going to do it eventually. I'm going to do a service on this route in the snow, not necessarily snowing, but just a snowy scene, you know, snow on the ground sort of thing, just to see how it fares with the F7. I'm just kind of curious to see how that works out for us. So we're already in notch 8, and that's as far as we go. So we're gonna just kind of slowly make our way up the hill here. So it looks like this is similar to what we're pulling here. We got these red cabooses, or not cabooses, these red box cars. The caboose on this one should be passing us here in a moment. Matter of fact, there it is right there. So it looks like we've got a very similar consist going. So we're getting ready to go on to the single line, it looks like, up here. Right there. And we're to be on a single line for some time, it looks like. Now, I'll be honest, if I was working on this railroad, that would scare me like nobody's business. Like, that's troublesome that you're going on a single line for that long, because there's just no telling that somebody ignores the signals, or you know, somebody could come barreling from the other direction and just there would be a huge accident. I wonder how many times that actually happened in the history of this railroad, that or heaven forbid, you're into the tunnel right coming up here, and somebody has a runaway train, and you're already into that tunnel, and you have no way of backing up back into the siding before there's a head-on collision. I mean, that would just be freaky as heck. So yeah, that's ooh, man, that's crazy to think about. That I wonder how many times something like that happened or nearly happened. Or if you watch the movie Unstoppable with Denzel Washington, where they're arguing about, no, go into this yard, you'll fit. No, I won't. They go back and forth about whether or not they'd actually fit in the siding, and then, oh yeah, you know what, you were right, we wouldn't have fit. I have to watch that movie again. That was a pretty good movie, even though it was a bit over dramatized from what I hear. We don't need the wiper on. Well, the gauges just seem kind of, I don't know, maybe it's because I have the light on over there, but well, this is not a super long tunnel, but of course we can't get up, we can't surf over the bridge here because the majority of the train will have not gone through, or the train will, wow, look at that, we are still way back there. No, it wouldn't even let me cut back through to the other side. Wow. I wonder if there's any good fishing down there. Maybe some steelhead trout or some salmon. I remember just thinking about that when I was in Kansas. The fishing, fishing trip, well, it wasn't a trip, but afternoon fishing we did after we did our first funeral detail, and I caught a couple of smallmouth, or caught some walleye. I remember that. I remember if it was what they were, but I caught some walleye. I remember that, and went over to my friend's house, and he filleted them and everything, and yeah, it was really good. It was pretty good eating. I think I caught a smallmouth bass too. Yeah, some walleye and a bass. It was good. I haven't been fishing in, I can't remember the last time I've been fishing. It's been a while. I never fished when I was in Georgia, although there was plenty of spots. The only problem is there was a lot of ponds and stuff that were stocked, or at least so we were told. I never took any chances because we had a what do you call it? There was a you have a lot of alligators, because it's basically, you're on a swamp. And so, yeah, matter of fact, one time we were in the field and we had to kind of pick up and change locations because there was a alligator in the area. Like, we had to kind of go way around. We're like, oh, let's just leave him alone. Nobody needs to get injured. Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I never took my chances out there for that. No, thank you. Oh, we finally made it through the tunnel. And we are still... Wow. We haven't really made much progress. That's okay, though. I know it's going to be a long, slow journey, but that's all right. We'll get through it. We're committed now to the route. Well, we were committed as soon as we logged in, huh? So I got 3 viewers, so I know Pete's here, Amella's here. Wonder who our 3rd viewer is. Hopefully you say hi in the chat if you feel up to it, whoever you may be. You're more than welcome to. I wonder if it's Mr. Addy's lurking in the background. Yeah, see, we're on that single line all the way to there. Oh boy. Well, it appears... oh boy. Alright, so here's the deal, folks. The groundskeepers have just showed up. And they're gonna, I think... I mean, the grass isn't super high, but I guess they're gonna cut the grass and probably clean up around the yard basically a little bit. So dang, I don't want to mute my mic and not talk. Oh, now I got 4 viewers. Well, welcome everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying your Friday. Hopefully one of the viewers is Josh. Josh hasn't been in one of my streams in a while, so maybe he's, well, I don't know, maybe he's at school today. Or maybe not, I don't know. So yeah, I apologize if you hear the lawnmower. I don't really want to mute my mic at all. I thought the wheel slip just flashed on for a moment, but I didn't see that on my... that was interesting. Yeah, it's been quite some time since I, oh, I forgot you could open up a window too. I don't think it really makes much difference. Yeah, it's been a while since I've gone fishing. I wouldn't mind going again, although I like the... Oh, no, they haven't started up yet, Amela. They just pulled into the parking lot here. And I think they were kind of looking at what's going on to see what might need to be done or whatever. I think they had the landlord basically, or the property owner, has them come by just to see, because they did do it about 2 weeks ago, so it's almost due for a haircut, so to speak. So hopefully, but yeah, I just saw them come in, and it's like they have one of those riding mowers, and they come around, and yeah, it makes it quicker for them, even though it's not like we have huge areas of grass that they yeah, they probably do cut the edges as well. They do sometimes do that. It just depends on how dedicated they are to the oh, I can't get out again because the other part of the train's still in the tunnel. And we're in notch 8. Struggling at 12 miles an hour. We were up to like 15 there for a moment. Oh well, it is. That's okay. Let's see. There we go. I really like because you got the numbers there, and then you have this really neat plate that lights up as well. But of course, I didn't turn on the lights or anything back here on this one. but this one is number 810, and our power units are 857 and 861. Wow, getting pushed around a lot out here. It's like turbulence. Yeah, this locomotive does look really good. And I was just thinking today, as I was preparing to make my run for coffee, I wonder if, because F7s used to do passenger service as well back in the day. So you had freight and passenger on a lot of the lines before, before Amtrak was ever around. I wonder if you could do a passenger service with the F7 on Peninsula Corridor, like a non-stop from like San Francisco to San Jose. I wonder if that would be possible, or if the brakes wouldn't match up or whatever. I guess that would be the major problem, is the braking. Yeah, I thought about trying that out sometime just to see how it would work out. Yeah, this is some really beautiful scenery here. It is, I would say, in a lot of respects, this rivals Sandpatch Grade as far as scenery goes. And I would say even a Rosa line. You know, those three lines I think are most scenic. Did I say coffee? No, I say coffee, not coffee. I'm not a true New Yorker. I'm a guest in the state as far as I'm concerned. This is just a stop along the way in the journey of life, or a speed bump, if you want to call it even that. Nothing against New York. I'm thankful to have a roof over my head and all that, but this is not home for me. Of course, California is, but California is just so ridiculously expensive, I can't afford to be home. So, anyway, yeah, I'd say Arosa, this line, Sandpatch Grade are probably the three most scenic routes we have. And then I think, of course, once King Creek comes out, that's going to be another very scenic route. We're going to be in the deserts of Utah on that one. But I do really like the scenery here. There's something really neat about it. I know they don't have every tree and all that, and that's okay. No, I'm not a tree counter. Or, some people are bean counters. I'm not a tree counter. I'm thankful that we have the route. I like the fact that they have these the pull handles for these. That is really cool. So yeah, I do like the scenery here, and I was just the other day while they were previewing Hamburg to Lubeck, I was thinking, man, there's just so much to do in this game now. Like, I don't know how anybody can reasonably say that they're bored in this game already. Over 20 routes now, tons of locomotives from around, I wouldn't say from around the world, but you got locomotives in Europe, or in Germany, in France, and now Switzerland, and also the UK, and eventually, we're getting the one up there in Scotland, the Fife Circle, or is it Scotland? So we're getting that, and then we've got all this stuff here in America, and it's amazing what we get. And I just can't imagine how people say that they're bored in this game. That just boggles my mind. Like, you must not own a lot of routes or something, or I don't know. But yeah, I mean, but it's overwhelming. It's so easy if you spend time on one route say if I do this service and a return service back, so now I'm getting comfortable with the F7. But then if I say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to Sandpatch. We're doing a service. We're going to go, I think we're going to try to do a run up the hill and see how that goes. And then and that'll be it for the weekend. But yeah, it's easy, you know, like when I did the 2 freight runs on the German routes on Wednesday, I think it was, it was a I was worried because I thought, well, I'm going to forget how to do all this stuff. I'm going to forget PZB. There's so much stuff that you start to gain knowledge, but if you don't use it constantly, you lose it. And, you know, of course, I've always said that you can always redo the training tutorial. If you've forgotten completely everything, how to set the cab up, the training tutorial helps you out with that. Or you can just look at there's tons of videos on YouTube, I'm sure, on how to do all that stuff. So you can always pick one of those just to refresh your memory. But if you know, of course, it always helps if you're actually doing the stuff while you're watching the video. So you're like, oh, yep, that switch. But the tutorial tells you all that stuff, you know. So you don't always have to go looking at the YouTube, but it always helps to actually do, as my German instructor says, it helps if you say the words as practice, don't just look at them, but you gotta be speaking it as well. So, you know, it doesn't, yeah, if you haven't bought the route yet, you could always look at a video and watch what the YouTuber's doing. But if you do only that, then you're not going to learn anything. All right, we're slowly making our way here. We're finally on a multi-lane. Yeah, that's just lovely. I'd really like to see this route in the snow eventually. I mean, I could do it. I should have done it, but I don't feel completely comfortable with the F7 yet to operate it in a winter setting. I'd just rather feel, you know, kind of get more comfortable with it here in the dry conditions. I'm sure there's already going to be enough wheel slip to begin with. Yeah, I just saw today that, oh man, freaking Apple just came out with their whole new line of computers and iPads. The bad part is I just bought my iMac last year, and it's like, oh, the next generation thing's already coming out this year, and I'm like, well, no, I'm not gonna trade it in, because they're like, oh, you could trade in your model and get counted towards your new one. No. I'm quite satisfied with what I have, quite honestly. It's not old, it's not on its last leg, or anything like that. So, nope. The only thing I may do is just add a little bit more memory to it. But other than that, I'm completely happy with it right now. All right, let's go pop back and see our caboose. So I know you could kind of sneak in this way, and right inside here is lights. Ta-da! So we turn the lights on in our caboose. Not that we can really see. Yeah, it looks lit up. Yeah, there we go. How cool would that be to just be sitting up there chilling, riding in one of these seats? You know? That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like there's separate switches up there too for the lights. There's one there and then there's one down here if I remember correctly. Yeah. Pretty cool. Alright, so we're getting ready to go back onto the single line here. And then we're just gonna keep making our way down through here. And then we're gonna come here. Yeah, it's going to be quite a long journey. No doubt about it. Well, it's kind of unfortunate we don't get to open up any of these other panels just to see what's there. We can't go into the engine area here, although you can't really see it through these gross looking windows, probably covered in oil and dirt and such. So there's our fuel tank, I do believe. Yep. Can't even take that off, because normally if you pass over it, I think you could remove it, but it won't. But yeah, if you have to gas it up, this is where the fuel tank is, and I think there's one on the other side. Yeah. Now let's see. Okay, so it looks like it's a connected fuel tank, so you can fill it from either side. Oop, we're gonna get pushed in here in a moment. We're going through this short tunnel. Yeah, so you could fill it from either side, it looks like. Turn my phone over so I'm not being distracted by nonsense on my phone. You know, it's going up these hills, we never get close to the, well, we're kind of making our way there, but the speed limit, we're nowhere near that. You know, of course, it's kind of hard. We're pulling all this weight up, even a small 0.2% grade. We figure with our A and B units, we would make short work of a 0.2% grade, but I guess not. Physics and all that, the laws of gravity and whatnot, don't really they don't care how much power we have. So yeah, it took me, I think, all the collectibles, all told, it took me maybe 4 or 5 days total. Because I would just go on and I would spawn in. So what I traditionally do for my collectibles, I'll go from, like if it's a passenger route, you know, like when Hamburg to Lubeck comes out, I'll just spawn in at every station that's spawnable, and try to find every collectible in that station without a guide. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll venture out from the stations a little bit each direction to see if there's anything there. But then you find that stuff is kind of it's out there between stations. So you have to run. I try to find which station is closest, and then I'll go from that station to the location of the item that I want to collect. Well, that's a rather... Oh, somebody's putting trash in the dumpster by just pulling up in their car. Whatever. Not my problem. Oh. Oh, they're... whatever. So yeah, it took a while, and there was one log that you have to kind of find it and cut it up. And the bad part is, well, I don't want to say it's the bad part. The thing that would always throw me off, quite honestly, is so as you're running along here, and then from a distance, sometimes a piece of that, like that rock or whatever, you'll think, oh, there's the one, that's what I'm looking for, and then you run up to it and it's a pile of rocks, and it's not the pile of wood or the log that you can cut up and put into a pile. And I think there's one of those along here somewhere. But yeah, it was a lot of stuff. So they were showing there's like 100 collectibles. It looks like route map, emergency phone, and I think they're like posters and something else. I think the last one is going to be those signal boxes or those electric boxes that they have along the route or something, maybe. That's what it looked like is going to be the fourth collectible. But there's 100 of them total over the four. It's got 30 of the phones, 30 of the possibly what looks like the those switch boxes, and then 20 of the route maps and 20 of the posters. So, we know the route maps and posters are going to be at the stations. It's just going around and trying to find all of those in the stations. So yeah, I think that'll be an interesting challenge. See how long it takes to complete that. I don't want to go in this tunnel. No. So yeah, could be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to the route though. The only thing that I thought was a bit, I don't want to say bad. What I thought was, well, so everybody was asking about the most recent loco that was released, the DB-BR-101, and the how many services on Hamburg to Lübeck, and they said there's only 2. So yeah, that was a bit I don't know. I was a bit put off by that. Well, not necessarily. It was just kind of like, so of course it's got predominantly the focuses on Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr for that loco. but only 2 services to be added, or that it could be used on for Hamburg to Lubeck. I thought that was like 10 would be more, but I guess in real life there's only 2, and so that's what they can't make more than what's there, because then people would, of course, would complain like, oh, that's not realistic. There's only 2 services in real life. So yeah, it's unfortunate that we're not getting more out of it for that, but it is what it is. Wow, 40 minutes and we are right here. Let's look at our comparison. We've made all that we were up here. We're here now. That took about, less than 40 minutes because we were streaming before we actually got in. So we're gonna take this this hard right here and come on down here, and then come on down this way, I believe. Yep, right to there. The tricky part of this route, if you do buy it and you're one of those people that's a completionist and you have to get all the collectibles, it's very difficult. It's easy to lose track of where you've been. I do recommend, honestly, is pulling up a guide. You can find them on Steam. It'll show you the location. It's just that whoever did the one on Steam, they would start, so like say this area here, which I can't recall what it is. So you would start going down this way, find a collectible here or whatever, and then it's like, oh no, go back and then go down this way now. So there's not a really good flow to it, for lack of a better term. But there's some really cool places to explore, these little sightings and such. I think there's stuff there's a collectible or 2 over there, in this area. And you got this bridge right here. Let's see, what kind of bridge is that? Oh, it's a roadway, okay. Now, that's the other thing too. Unlike Sandpatch Grade, anytime we're near a road, it's not like we see maybe like a truck, like any of those moving along. They're just like parked there permanently. They don't move around at all. Yeah, but even here, we don't see like a car zipping through every once in a while, which I guess is okay. I mean, man, I still think it'd be cool if he had just a couple people standing there with fishing poles there by the water. So yeah, that's one of the collectibles right there. You find a pile of coal, and you basically create those bags of coal that they could be collected, and the coal could be dumped back into the hopper thing or whatever, the conveyor system. So I think this will be our one service for today, because it's going to take a bit of time to get there, obviously. What I would like to do eventually is like a coal loading on here. It'll be another service for another time. I figure I'm going to do this, and then I need to run down to the laundromat, get some change, get some laundry done, and I may try to run and go get a haircut. I don't know, because I definitely need one. Last time I did it on for myself, but yeah. If I go early, well, the mall doesn't open for another hour and a half, I think. Or maybe half an hour, I don't know. I never keep up with it. But yeah, I gotta get laundry done for sure before I do anything else. Oh, maybe I'll go get a haircut tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna chill today. This week has just been it's been a hot mess, for lack of a better term. Oh, Richard's finally awake, looks like, on the Discord. Accidentally hit my cap locks. Don't want to scream his name. Shout it, whatever. It still boggles my mind that people don't quite understand about the oh, you think he's lurking? Well, I know you're here, Mela. I got 2 viewers, so I think it's still Pete. It's always hard to tell. And chat's kind of quiet today, which is all right. It's. Oh, I got 3 people now. Yeah, yep, Pete's lurking. So somebody else has popped in. I got 3 viewers now. I was down to 2. I know Mr. Addies can't be asked. I feel bad for him. I honestly do. Poor kid. He busts his butt to finally get his PS4 fixed, and now his internet starts acting up. That's really sad. Alright, so we're cutting through here. This is our first major junction that we go through. Yep. And our second one will be there, and our third one will be there. It's not a major junction. I shouldn't say major. My phone was acting up. Yeah, it just went, didn't it, Amela? It cut out, as Mr. Addy says. Yeah, that's I would be frustrated if I were in his shoes too. What were you playing, Pete? It cut out, yeah. Oh, that's right. I can't go because we just cut through a tunnel. So, shh, don't know yet. Alright, so we got a yellow coming up. So let's see if we can see what's going on in front of us. Or is that yellow kind of... Is it a false alarm yellow? Yeah, I don't know why we get a yellow. I don't see anything else on the line. Are we doing a round trip or one way? One way, Amela, because this, I mean, we've been going for almost an hour now, and we still got quite a way to go. So I'm guessing this is going to be about an hour and a half or so, maybe close to 2 by the time we get done, because we're mainly going uphill, but I think at some point we're going to start to go downhill, and then it's going to be a challenge of keeping the train under control going downhill without putting the emergency brake on. So we're going to try to use this and this, so we'll see how it goes. So yeah, probably just one way, because this there's quite a lot. It's quite a lot for one service as it is. So yeah, we're just gonna do this and then call it. I got to do laundry and all that today for sure before I do anything else. I just figured I'd get this done now, and then I'll post it later today on YouTube. So yeah, but it's been good. I mean, we haven't really had any significant problems, knock on wood. The challenge I think still is going to be when we start going downhill in the whole braking thing, and try not to muck that up. See, I would think they don't really sound any different. You'd think the rear horn would have maybe be a little bit softer sound. I really am glad though that they finally got this on the console. This is fantastic. And we are inching closer to the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you, as Star Wars fans like to say. To hear about the rush hour situation, what is going to be coming with that. Lots of speculation, lots of rumors. Well, I don't want to say rumors. I just say speculation. I think that's a fair word to say. Speculation, lots of speculation. And who knows what we're going to get. I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to say. I need to call and cancel the subscription. Cheesecake and burgers in Yokosuka, Japan. Oh, no, that's too much. Oof, that just sounds gross. But anyway, yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to say. There's, my gut instinct is we're going to get some cool stuff, I think. But we're going to have a another large swath of the playing community who is going to be livid for whatever reason that they didn't get what they want. That's the but. You know, there's going to be people who are going to be thankful that we're getting what we're getting. I think there's always going to be those folks who are just accept whatever, you know, accept that Dovetail Games is giving us this content. And I still think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that because of the pandemic, they weren't able to do what they wanted to do for the next game. I think that's played a huge role in their decision. Like, I don't think if the pandemic wasn't around, I don't think we would be, the rush hour thing would not be happening, I don't think. All right, looks like we're going to have to stop up here. I think there's another service coming up the hill. We're going to have to wait for it to pass. Let's see if I'm correct in that. Yep. So we're going to have to wait for that to pass. So we're going to get off the throttle here. We're just going to go ahead and, well, maybe that was a little bit too premature. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, wow, we dropped speed very quickly. Woo. All right, let's get back on the throttle. Yep, the constant bitching and whatnot, that's what I'm expecting all next week. Yeah. Yep, I agree, Mello. Didn't mean to say the word bitching, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So yeah, it's and that's just from Mr. No, I think Mr. Addy's you know, he's one of those people I think he'll like. Well, he doesn't like a Rosa only because of the sound of the whistle. It annoys him. You know, and it just is what it is. But I think overall, route-wise, he's pretty happy to get anything. I don't know, you know, of course, he doesn't have every route. He probably won't be able to get, I don't know if he's going to be able to get Hamburg to Lubeck or any of the other new stuff coming out. I mean, I don't know what his financial situation is, but yeah, there's going to be people who are going to be thankful. They're going to appreciate what Dovetail Games is giving them. And then you're going to have some people who are just not going to accept whatever is being given, you know, what is going on sale, essentially. Never mind the fact that you're not being forced to buy it. There's nobody's got a gun to your head, so to speak. Your friend, you're not going to get peer pressure from your friends, most likely, to buy the next route in order for you to continue to play with your friends. It doesn't work that way in this game. So you don't have to buy it. It's your choice. You know, it's not like, oh, well, I have to, you know, because there's games where essentially you were paying for an update to the game. And we haven't had to pay for updates. We just pay for new content. There's a difference. And I think a lot of people don't quite understand that difference. So I think, yeah, and I'm going to watch it when they do the stream. I'm going to read it. I'm going to watch it on that Thursday, or Tuesday, I mean. So, yeah. Wow, look at how quickly the speed. It's like we put the brakes on or something. That's just crazy. All right, I want to make sure that we're well clear of. Oh, we are. All right, so if I stop here, for instance, it's not going to be a huge loss. Wow, look how quickly that speed just drops. It's like the brakes are on already. Alright, let's go ahead and put the brakes on now. Oops. So We're gonna be waiting. I don't want a chance getting any closer because, yeah, no. So yeah, I think that's the. Wow, that train goes. Okay, so we're just gonna have to sit here and wait. We're just gonna sit outside here and wait for this train to pass. See what passes us. But yeah, I'm excited to see what we get. You know, it's going to be interesting, I think. So, yeah. But again, you know, I watched the preview on Clinchfield, or not Clinchfield, on Hamburg de Lubeck. Pardon me, I had to sneeze real quick. So I watched the preview, and unfortunately on Twitch, I watched it on Twitch, and you still see the comments from YouTube on there. What I noticed is, even though we're talking about this new route that's coming probably in a couple weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks tops, people were talking about, one person kept spamming about, you need to put in the Japanese trains, the bullet trains and all this stuff. Put it in, please, please, please. And it's like, wow. How many times do you have to be told if you have a suggestion, you can put it in the Dovetail Game forums. They have a suggestion area. And certainly if there's a possibility, they will look at it, they will look into it and see if there's a way that they could make that happen. I think they would love to have a wider variety of trains from around the world, but it's not very realistic. You know, there's a lot, you know, again, it's all down to there's 808, A and B, B and A. That number is 817. And so we have empty coal cars. All right, so looks like our did I have that on? I think I had the independent brake on, didn't I? Oh, don't tell me I had the independent brake on all this time. I wonder if that was the problem. I don't remember if I had this over here or if it was like over here somewhere. Oh, well, that's all right. It is what it is. But at least we got moving fairly easily on a 0.7% grade. What a done. Yeah, I think I kind of feel like I had the independent brake on, quite honestly, that whole time. Well, it's not. It's okay. I probably did, but it didn't really affect the service per se. You know, it was just yeah, that's all right. It could have been a lot worse. It definitely could have been a lot worse. That's no wonder why I'm like, we're only going up 2. You know, for a while it was only like 0.2% grade uphill, and I'm like, wow, we're just draining off speed like nobody's business. Well, that might have done it. Look at, yeah, we're just moving quite along better now. Yeah, I think that might have been it. Yeah, I could spat. Well, yeah, I could have, but yeah, I think that's what it was, because we got up to speed fairly quickly. So yeah, see, we're slowing down, but we got a 0.4% uphill. But it's not like where I think the brake was on and we would have been dropping speed way more quickly. So yeah. Well, because normally it feels like it's a bit odd. It's counterintuitive because you would think this is full, this is fully, this would be fully on, and this would be released. I don't know. Well, learn something new every day, folks. That should be the goal in life. Learn something new every day. We just figured out that for the first part of that journey, we had the independent brake on. We probably could have been down. We could have been a lot closer than 15 miles from our destination. But it's okay. So Mel, did we tell all Rob driving with brake? You know what? It's okay if you do. It's all a learning process. That's the thing. It was a honest mistake. It wasn't like I intentionally put it on and just like, oh, I'm gonna drive with the brake on. So yeah, it's all good. I'm not bothered by it. I gotta blow my nose, I think, real quick. Pardon me. Oh, you know what? I moved my microphone. Sorry, I moved it out of the way when I blew my nose, and I totally forgot to put it back down. So yes, as I was saying, the it doesn't bother me that I made the mistake, to be honest. It's not the end of the world because it was an oversight, and I didn't even think about it until we stopped, and I'm like, okay, I got to release this brake, and that's when I realized. I'm like, oh, I probably have been driving all that time with the brake on, the independent brake on, because I didn't fully release it, but we got had enough power going that we were able to get moving, even though the independent brake had been engaged to some degree. Yeah. So no, I'm not going to be like, oh, nothing to see here. Like people blowing through stations. If I blow through a station, I blow through a station. It it's it's okay. Is it embarrassing? Yes. Especially when if you're not paying attention or you get distracted, whatever. It is embarrassing, but you know, it happens. I mean, look, Matt messed up starting on the Hamburg to Lubeck route yesterday. He didn't acknowledge his PZB, and I've done it before. I mean, I've made my share of mistakes. I don't, like I know we give, like people a hard time when they do that, and everybody, of course, oh, let's see how this works. Oh, okay. One's there, so the switch for that side must be right there. Okay. So yeah, I've done it. It is embarrassing, but it happens. I mean, if Matt can make mistakes on a premiere or a preview, I keep saying premiere, but it's a preview. If Matt can make a mistake on a preview, then that's okay. We're all human, and we all make those errors. I know people were giving Matt grief about not acknowledging his PZB and CIFA or whatever that caused him just as he leaves the station, he goes bam right into the train, goes into stoppage and all that. Yeah, it's embarrassing. A lot of people, well, you're a Dovetail Games employee, you think you know better. Well, it happens. So if he can make a mistake, we can all make mistakes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I learned a long time ago, and part of this I learned the hard way in the military. The military hates mistakes. It's almost like they want a zero mistake policy, and that's not very realistic. People are always going to make mistakes. For human beings, we're not perfect. And when you try to be perfect, would it be great to hit every stop on the mark? Yes. Is it realistic to do that? No. And if you're going to drive yourself up the wall trying to meet that expectation, and that's not healthy. And eventually, when people start demanding perfection from like Matt, for instance, who's a Dovetail Game employee and who everybody feels should know how to operate this stuff flawlessly, that's not fair to him. And what you're doing is you're saying that like, what was it? Somebody came into Richard's stream a week or so ago and said, "Oh, I never spat. I always." Come on, BS. You do not. You do not. There's no way that everybody's going to hit every perfect stop. You cannot. Don't tell me that you do. I don't care how long you've been playing. Look how long Matt's probably been playing, and he still made a mistake. So you cannot tell me that you are perfect and all of you don't never speed. No, give me a break. That's not healthy. You're going to drive yourself bananas. And I learned that lesson Also, when I started playing Train Sim World 2020, I'm like, oh, I got to be on time. You know, or like when we got this game and I was playing the Bakerloo line, and it's like, I'm never going to be on time. And people said, oh, no, traditionally you're going to be late for every service once you get started. So instead of wrapping myself around the axle about it, I just said, well, it is what it is. I'd rather just enjoy the route. If I'm late, I'm late. And I think I had that problem too with Long Island Railroad at first. I was never on time, and then all of a sudden, I went back to it. I took a break from the route, quite honestly. And so then I'm like, well, let me go back and let me try it again. And then all of a sudden I was like, man, I'm hitting all my, I'm on time. I'm not late. I'm a little bit early in most cases. I was just like surprised. So I'm like, what am I doing different? I thought maybe there'd been an update or something, and I don't know what it was, but it's like all of a sudden I was like, man, I really love this route. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, so I don't quite understand why people feel the need that, it's like, the one individual, like, well, you have to honk the horn this many times at the, it means that in real life, all those things matter in real life. But in a game, when you're trying to stream, those you could do like maybe a couple times or whatever, and you're like, okay, I did it, But to do it all the time, that's not very realistic, well, it's realistic, but it's too much, because when you're talking, you don't want to, yeah. You don't want to keep doing that, and then you're talking over the horn. That just, and I think people they need to just chill, for lack of a better term. They need to chill. It's just a game. It's supposed to be fun. To me, it should inspire you to want to learn about the history of these railroads. Like I didn't really know about Clinchfield until we got the route. Would I like to learn more about it? Darn right I would. Would I like to learn more about German railroad history? Yes. Or UK railroad history? Yes. That's what should inspire you when you play the game. Not, oh, I have to be perfect in my service. That's not very realistic. You're going to drive yourself crazy, and then when you're not perfect, you're going to rage quit. And what does that solve? Nothing. And it also reminds me, when I used to play Destiny, when we were doing a raid, when one of the it was a really challenging raid came out. What, you're this light level and you don't know what you're doing? I find that hard to believe. What is wrong with you? Like, wow. Just because, what? Like literally, we had that conversation one time in a chat. Like some dude just unloaded on somebody and just was like, "You're this character level and you have all this gear and oh, wow, dude, calm down. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. You're taking it way too seriously." If you're that angry, why don't you take a moment, go get a cup of coffee. Well, don't get a cup of coffee. Go get a drink of water or something. Go take a downer or something. Wow. You need to level out, man. Just, oh yeah. It's just people get so toxic over the most ridiculous crap. And I try not to do it. I know, trust me, there's plenty of mornings when heaven forgive me, but there's plenty of mornings where I've watched streamers. Richard, I love you, man, but there's times I am screaming at my computer because I'm just like, no. Yeah. So, but I try to. If somebody asks me for help, I do try to help, but man, there's a difference of people helping and there's a difference of people being overly, well, I don't want to say his name, Amela. I'm not going to give him that kind of time. But yeah, man, like, don't come in and start making demands of people. It's not cool. It's just a game. If you want to run your route that way, by all means, knock yourself out. Go right ahead. Nobody's going to stop you from if you want to play that way. But I can't imagine that you're going to find any enjoyment in the game after a while. You're going to think that you are. You're like, oh, I was perfect in my service. And you're going to get a bloated head, and then the next time that you run, if you do make a mistake, you're going to basically screw yourself. You know, like I love Peninsula Core. I think everybody knows that. But if I go on there and it's like, man, why I'm just driving like garbage tonight. Oh well, I'm just going to keep going because I got to get the passengers to their final destination in San Jose. If you just look at it that way, like, oh, well, I guess my driving is just garbage tonight or today, whatever. Oh well, I'm just going to keep going and finish the service because that's the right thing to do. You know, but a lot of people just can't accept that for whatever reason. I don't know why, but you know, if you want to be miserable somewhere else. You know, nobody needs that misery in a stream or in a premiere. You know, why didn't you do? You know, like the one guy that commented about, oh, you don't put the marker lights on the front. Look, like I know that. You know, I know that I'm not supposed to. I just do it for fun. It's just have fun, dude. This is the Division, Amela. I am still torn. I really want to test something. And I know Pete. I know you don't like the violent video games, and I respect that, honestly. I really do. But I just want to go in and just wreck these fools on this one particular mission. I just want to go in on like a challenging setting and see if I can do it solo. I really want to give it a go, and I want to stream it. I know, like I said, I know Pete, you wouldn't watch it, and as I said, I completely respect that. That's your choice, and I wouldn't ask you to reconsider. But I want to do it just for the fun of it, just one time. But we'll see. I may just do the stream on here, but not post it to my YouTube, and then it would just eventually get deleted anyway when it's been on for a while, and it's run out of, you know, it's been up long enough that it gets deleted. So no, I know, you know, I know violent video games that used to be, there was like a large audience for it on streaming. You know, I think that's pretty evident. You know, there used to be a thing, and you know, when it was Destiny or the Division or Call of Duty stuff. You know, I know that there was an audience for it, but I think that audience has since moved on. What was that? But you know, so the idea is that with the build that I have, right, I could in theory go in there and just wreck these fools. And I did it before when I had a different build, but it took forever. I just want to see if I can do it with this different one, with this new build. Well, it's not new, but just to see how I'm able to cope with it. But yeah, that was. And the funny thing was when I had deleted the character recently and I replayed the game from the beginning. I had a plan, and I started off with, well, I had some idea of what I wanted to do, and it didn't. It cut out. What cut out? My voice did. Huh. I don't know. I had an idea of how I was going to make it. You got to get to character level 30, and then you could start putting all your fancy gear on, as I like to call it. And my plan kind of evolved after I got to a certain point, and it worked out way better. I was able to complete a lot of like normally. The stream went and came back. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I wonder if I had a little hiccup in the system or something. Well, I'm glad it didn't like completely cut out. Not like somebody else earlier today. Poor Mr. Addies. I do feel bad for him. I do. I don't mean to laugh, but I feel bad. I honestly, Joseph, man, God bless you, because I know it's frustrating for you, man, and I'm sorry that you're going through these struggles. I honestly wish there was something I could do to help you, but I can't. But anyway, so yeah, it didn't take me long. Like, I just played here and there for a couple hours, here and there, and it was just like, man. And so I just quit even matchmaking. I would just go in and finish the mission solo, and I would just be like, just wrecking stuff. Dang. And I don't know why I was always worried to do that. People always told me, you can do all this stuff on your own. You don't have to have a group. So I don't know. I may just for fun, I may do it later today, just for fun. And, if you want to come back and watch it, you can. If not, it's not the end of the world. I'm just gonna do it for just for the laughs. See how I cope. See if I die, how many times. So yeah. But the game, I like it. There's a really interesting story, throughout the game, but it at the end of the day, there's a lot of depressing parts of it, and that was the hard part. Like, you're hearing when you play the game for the first time ever, and you're going around, you're finding these phone recordings, like, this one young lady, she's she's coming out to her mom, and she's also scared because all this craziness is going on in New York City, and you hear whoever did the voice acting for any of this stuff did a phenomenal job. You could hear the fear in their voice, and I think that is just absolutely incredible that they were able to convey that in these little snippets of what would be like a normal phone conversation, or a voicemail or something. And yeah, but it's just really I don't know. I liked the game. I had gotten away from it for a little bit, but I thought, I'll go in there, because I got pretty much everything I ever wanted out of it. I've got all the gear sets, and I'm missing a few of the exotic weapons, but I don't really care. But I got what I wanted out of it, and it's fine. But I don't miss well, I kind of do sometimes, but I don't miss running around with people, and it just turns into a finger pointing, and, oh, you didn't do this, you were supposed, it just lost its luster, it got to be too much, and that's why I walked away from Division 2, and that's why I walked away from Destiny. It was just they want, especially Division 2. Oh, well, you're going to pay for everything now. Oh, now though everything's moving to season passes. So you're already paying for the content essentially up front, and you don't know what you're going to get. And more often than not, it's not quality content, unfortunately. And so I've tried to steer clear of situations like that. Or not only do you not get quality content, but then you get loot boxes. They were talking about, I was listening to somebody on YouTube this morning. Bungie's the whole loot box thing for these transmogrification of your armor. They looked at it. In theory, it would take you 12 years to collect everything. Now, nobody is going to want to spend 12 years. So what are they going to do? Well, the other option is you can buy all this stuff. It's like, wow. The drop rate is so low that they would rather encourage you to spend actual money to do all this stuff. I don't want to be bothered with that stuff, you know. So, no thanks. I'm quite content to take this old F7 on this service from one area to another. We're slowly making our way. We got 9.6 miles as the train flies. So yeah, I just don't have patience for that kind of stuff anymore. But it's nice, like when I went back and I was messing around on the Division, I'm like, just for the heck of it, let me just delete one of the characters and start from scratch and see how well I do. And I was amazed how well I did. I thought there was a couple times I think I struggled, but I'm just like, okay, I gotta approach this a different way. And it's the same with this game, I think. We struggle, I think, a lot of times with things, and it's like, oh, well, maybe the way I'm approaching it is not the best way to do it. So, yeah. But I truly have, I don't want to say I've fallen in love with this game. I really do love it because there's just so much to do in it. And, if I don't, I'm going to buy the DVBR 101 as soon as we're done with this. Because I didn't want to buy it and then have to worry about wait for it to download, and then I have to restart the game and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do that later. But if I don't want to buy it, I don't have to. But if I don't buy it, I feel a bit like I'm missing out on something. I'm missing out on another interesting locomotive and passenger car train set that we didn't have before. And, I don't want to miss out on that, but if I feel like, if I look at it, if I watch Joe's stream or Richard's stream and I'm like, I don't feel like that compelled to buy it, then I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm being pressured to. Now, the only time that would change is if at the end of the day, when Joe does a members only stream and he does a points challenge and that's the locomotive, then I can't participate if I don't have it. So yeah, it's not super expensive. I can buy it, and that way, yeah, if I decide, I want to, be in that points challenge and all that, then I'll do it. But yeah, you're right, Pete. At the end of the day, it is my choice, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. I'll probably do the tutorial off stream and just to kind of get a feel for it and all that. I mean, there's plenty. I think there's plenty. Oh, your phone cut out, and then it just went, huh, Mella? So yeah, it's all good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to trying something new again, just like the F7 is new to all of us who bought it, or even the people who are watching who haven't bought it yet. It's all new, and the great thing is that there's enough people out on YouTube who have got this stuff that if you're on the fence, you could say, well, I don't want it right now, but maybe I'll add it to the mix in another month or so. You know. So, yeah. Well, I do greatly appreciate both of you guys hanging out here today and just chilling with me this morning, or in Pete's case this afternoon. It's been fun, even despite the little hiccup with the brake situation there. I still think it could have been way worse than it was, so it's all good. All right, so we are coming to our last junction here. It looks like, so we're going to split off to the left and slowly make our way all the way. I don't want to say all the way to San Jose because that's not true. Right to there. All right, let's just have a look here. Oh, all the points are set for us. All right, perfect. Yeah, I was hoping a few more people would have popped in, but that's all right. I want to try again later on as well. Oh, Mr. Addies. I do love his optimism. I'll give him credit for that. He's an optimistic person, or he tries to be. I think that's been the biggest hurdle for most of us during the pandemic, especially, is finding a way to remain optimistic amidst all the craziness that's going on. And I think yeah, he does, and he doesn't need to. It's not his fault. It's a situation that's out of his control, obviously, and especially that he's living at home and he can't do anything about it. It's out of his fate. It's out of his hands. And that's the hard part when you're living at home. You're under somebody else's roof and you have to follow their rules. Or or things like internet usage. Like where my mom and stepdad live in Northern California. They have internet, but it's not quality. It's not it's not good enough, nor will it ever be where they can stream. They can't get Netflix or Amazon Prime and stream movies or shows from there. They have, I think, satellite cable, so they're satisfied with that. But like when I did my radio production class stuff, still to this day, my mom cannot go back and listen to those because the internet's so bad. And which is sad. I really wish there's a place that she could go for, like if they go out of town, maybe if they go somewhere where they have some Wi-Fi, maybe she could listen to them then, but she's missing out on all that stuff. So, yeah, when you're living at home and it's not your space and you don't get any say in the matter, it sucks. And he's not in a position, apparently, to do anything about that. Like I've made it a policy. I've lived places where all I had was Wi-Fi, and it sucked. And I was never I was never, or I've made it a policy now that no matter where I'm at, when I get internet, I'm going to wire everything. I'm going to plug in a cable to the router, and I'm just going to not have to worry about that. And in theory, maybe over the summer, I'm going to relocate my computer from where it is to closer to the router. I'm going to run a cable from the router to the computer. So, because a lot of times the computer, the internet, the Wi-Fi signal, it suddenly drops. And so if I'm wired in, then I don't have to worry about that. Because I've had buffering in some of my classes before. It's not... Sometimes I think it's just the quality of the Zoom call or the Zoom setup, and sometimes it might be my internet. So, yeah. Alright, where are we in location now? We're there. Alright, there we are. That's what we got left to deal with. So, yeah, hour 41 now, so... Ooh. Look at that, I started speeding now. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. Oh my goodness, I sped. I need to uninstall the game. I can't play the game anymore. I sped a little bit. Oh my goodness, the humanity of it all. It went into the yellow. Oh. That's it. Revoke my train license. Revoke the game from me. I can't do it anymore. Oh, it's supposed to be windy today. Got the alert. The weather alert. I think 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts are forecasted. I shouldn't say predicted. Forecasted. Yeah, I'm fired. You're right, Pete. I'm fired. I gotta uninstall the game. I can't play this anymore. I was speeding. That's it, man. I wasn't perfect in my service. I was up to that point. Forget it. I might as well just quit right now while I'm ahead. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. The ludicrous behavior of this driver, I tell you. Who does this, as Evan would say, who does this plum think he is? Look at him sitting here all high and mighty like he hadn't done nothing wrong. He just quit. Yeah. He's handing in his notice. He's not even handing his notice. He's just going to throw down the keys and just walk off the job. He's going to walk back home. Doesn't matter. He can't be arsed. I love watching people come driving into this parking lot. It is so humorous, honestly, because some people come creeping in all nice and slow. You know, they're looking for a parking spot as they come in, driving nice and slow, and other people just come barreling into the parking lot. It's like, wow, dude, there's parking. It's okay. You don't have to come in here like freaking Mario Andretti and stuff, coming into the pits. Goodness gracious. And the bad part is sometimes some of the folks have kids here. The kids are out here running around in the parking lot like it's a playground. And there is a playground right down the street there at the park. They could go running around the park for a while if they had to. But no, they come running around here in the parking lot. One of these knuckleheads, one of these days, is going to come flying into the parking lot and hit one of those kids. Unfortunately, I hope it never happens. I pray it doesn't happen. But yeah, like it's just people just don't care around here. But then you get the people. There's one woman that comes driving in and like she just drives like very slowly, like it's like she hits the gas and then she hits the brake again. You know, like she's overly cautious. It's like two extremes. But I mean, I'd rather that the person's overly cautious. I don't like, because there's this one guy. I just saw him come flying in here, and eventually, in probably in about 10 or 15 minutes, he's gonna go flying back out the parking lot. Like, dude, it's not that serious, you know. Back up to 30 here. So yeah, I mean, I've lived here for 5 years now. Let's see, no, 3 years. I've lived in the area for 5 years. It'll be 5 years this October. I've been in the Binghamton area, but I've lived here at this apartment for 4 years. No, I moved here in 20. I moved into this apartment in 2017. Yeah, so 4 years. Oh, yeah, it's steadily declined. Most of the nice people here have already moved out. Mr. Josh, how are you? Welcome to the last 5.4 miles on Clinchfield Railroad in the F7. Oh, can't go out the cab yet because we were in a tunnel a moment ago. Yeah, how are you, Josh? Hope you're. Are you feeling better? You know, you were still kind of you had a sore throat or something before. I got 5 viewers now all of a sudden, so I know Josh is one of them. So I got Josh and Bella and Pete. So 2 viewers are just kind of lurking. That's all right. I would be quite happy. Well, if Natster from Dovetail Games was one of the lurkers, I'd be happy with that. Heck, anybody from Dovetail Games, if they were lurking in the stream, just kind of checking on things, I'd be happy with that too. But I don't want to, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's take a look. So, yeah, that's how much we got left on the map there. It says 5 miles. Yep, bit of Clinchfield Railroad. Yep, cough, cough. Have you been on Bellin this morning or today at all, I'm guessing? Josh, see anything interesting? Any war bonnets by chance? No, not yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't been on there this morning yet either, so I was curious to see if you'd been on there and watched anything interesting. Should be pretty well lit there now. It's 8:30 in the morning there, I think. They're only 2 hours behind East Coast time. Yeah, I wouldn't mind living in Bellin, New Mexico. Man, if you're like a rail fan, man, that'd be the place to be. Lots of freight action there. You can, wherever they got that camera, it looks like maybe you could just like chill out right there and watch the trains go by, possibly. Yeah, I did. Yep. Pete's right, Josh. I did. So we came to an area where there was a red light. We had to wait for a train to pass. We stopped, and then when I went to release the brakes, I noticed that the independent brake was like right up in here somewhere. I thought I had moved it into the a couple SD40s service. Loaded coal right here. Look at that beautifully loaded coal. So delicious. Yeah, it was an oversight, so it's been corrected. It's all good. Could have been a lot worse. We could have been going down. I mean, we were going uphill, and as soon as I came out the throttle, it was like all of a sudden it's almost like the brakes are on. I didn't even think to check everything. But yeah, it's been corrected. It's okay. I know you're disappointed in me, Josh. You're probably going to unfriend me and never talk to me again, but it's sorry. I'm sorry I let you down, Josh. I did manage to pop in and put the lights on in the caboose, though. I know, Josh. I was just kidding. But it's been a good service overall. Can't really complain. We've been going uphill. I thought going south, I thought we would have gone downhill, but we've been going uphill the entire time. Now watch, we're gonna get like 2 miles outside of our stop location. That's when all of a sudden we're gonna go crazy downhill. Oh, we got another tunnel coming up. Josh still hasn't friended you yet. Well, you know, Amela. You and Josh have that, I don't want to call it a love-hate relationship, but... I don't know that there's any love really there. Oh boy. Yeah. Run for the hills, Josh. Run to Cane Creek. She can't catch us both. Oh boy. I think that's what it is. What a love-hate relationship. Is it tough love? Is that what it is? Maybe it's tough love from Auntie Amela. If she finds us at Cane Creek, we can just run for Hamburg. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Or any of the other upcoming routes. Who knows what we're getting and where it's going to be. I would be, although I didn't play it, I would be quite happy if they brought back, well, I know they said they wouldn't, but if they were just kind of giving us a go. The Northeast Corridor, I think, would be a nice addition to the rush hour thing. But I know that they said that they weren't going to they weren't going to do that. They weren't going to put the Northeast Corridor in the game, but That would be nice if they were able to figure out a way to do it. How was I speeding? I wasn't that. What? Wow. This game's a little sensitive. Yeah, that would be great, but I know they said that they had no plans to put it in Train Sim World 2. But who knows? Maybe plans have changed, and they're kind of keeping their cards close to their chest, and so yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they've got for us. Yeah, I didn't even realize I was over any. It must have been just like a smidge. I don't think I was. I don't think I saw it go into the yellow. But wow, yeah. Well, at least it wasn't like way over speeding like Mr. Audi's was this morning on Southeastern High Speed. Oh, good lord. Oh, I'm on time. Yeah, I'd be on time too if I just ignored the speed limits and just, you know, went up into the red and wasn't even getting the 15 points for speeding until it goes up into the red, and then you don't get anything, and then you put yourself in danger of getting a silver or even a bronze. So there ought to be a driver penalty system like there is in Gran Turismo Sport. You know, if you excessively speed for so long, so many times, then you're. I do it. See, we're gonna start going downhill. Son of a biscuit eater. Alrighty, here we go. 2.1 miles to our destination, and now we're going on a 1.5% downhill. Oh boy. Alright, let's see. Let's see how we do. This is going to be the fun part. No, Wildlight. I don't want to become famous. Or Ozovizer, or whatever your name is. You guys can both jog on. Get out of my stream. You're not welcome. Take your bot self and get out. Please and thank you. Oops. All right, let's try this again. All right. So we'll bleed off a little bit of speed here and there, just so that we don't get popped for speeding. Yeah, this has been quite a fun journey. It's been good. So yeah, 2 hours now. Coming up on that. Well, we haven't done 2 hours actually on the route. 2 hours of streaming, but hold on just a second. What? All right. Well, that blows. Oops. Well, it sure didn't take long to get back up there to the speed. I did it again. Oh well, it wasn't super terrible bad. Alright, we're finally coming into the beginning of our yard here. I think all the points that we have is pretty much automatic, so we should be good to go for that. So yeah, it's been a good trip. We're finally coming into some kind of a town here. Oh, look at that. There's a car driving right there. Oh, there's another one. Oh, finally we see some signs of civilization. Looks like it. Oh, that's a caboose. All right. We're just going to surf the rest of the way in here. Now, of course, the tricky part is going to be, as we've seen on this route already, when we get to our stop point, right there, there's going to be I almost feel confident that there's going to be a red light somewhere, possibly, like right. We're going to have to stop, like almost right on the red light. We'll see. It's not marked on the map, but we'll see. So yeah, this does have some very similar, in a way, it's very similar to Sandpatch Grade in that it does take a while to do the service. You know, it doesn't matter which way you go, because either if you're going uphill, you're going to have to contend with that. If you're going downhill, you're going to have to contend with, you know, being on the brakes a lot. Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. I kind of figured this was going to take quite a bit of time, and of course, you know, we didn't expect to have that one red light where we had to wait on that siding until that train passed. All right, now we're on flat ground. It looks like, so we can just kind of coast this on in. Matter of fact, we'll even do a solid and we'll put the bell on. I would reckon that would be a standard procedure, because we're on the other side of these cars and we want to make sure people know that we're coming through. You don't want somebody to suddenly jump out from between the cars and get plowed over by us. Alright, so we don't have a red light right there. Well, that's interesting. Wow. I'm speeding again. I know, Mel, I'm just terrible, aren't I? Yeah, this has been pretty good. So that is... I wonder if that's that mixed power scenario, where you had the F7 and the SD40 together. I think that's what it is. Is there a... Oh yeah, maybe right there, that scenario marker. Alright, I think we can turn the bell off now. I will say that the braking video that Matt did was really informative. If you've not checked that out, Dovetail Games did do a video about the braking, and they did talk about like the F7 and the SD40. Is it going to be like a glove? Wow, look at that stop. There we go. That was pretty darn good. Shouting at my train like Joe. Yeah, no. That was pretty good. That was, we... Oh, look at that. I just got an achievement for that. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, hour 52 total. We drove 34.95 miles, or we'll just round it up to 35 miles. That was pretty good. Yeah, 4,580. Got a gold despite our few hiccups with the speeding. It wasn't too bad. So anyway, well, thank you all for joining. Pete, Josh, and Amela. And whoever my two other viewers are, thanks for hanging out. And I will see you on Sandpatch Grade tomorrow. Going to be some AC 4400 action. So take care. Enjoy